MLBB teams of the world are returning to Singapore for the M3 World Championship. To get ready, let's check out the tournament's new format. Teams from around the world will compete in 2 stages. Group stage and the playoffs. But first, we have to understand the group draw. To ensure the balance of groups, the champions of MPL Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, and Singapore are slotted in Seed 1. The champions of MPL Brazil and Cambodia, alongside runner-ups of MPL Indonesia and Philippines, will be in Seed 2. And all the other qualified teams are in Seed 3. 1 team each from Seed 1 and 2 will be distributed to a total of 4 groups, A, B, C, and D, while the 8 teams from Seed 3 will be distributed evenly as well. Do note that teams from the same will not be in the same group. If that happens, the later team will be slotted into the next group. For the group stage, the 4 groups of 4 will play a best-of-1 of single round robin, or play against the other 3 teams within the group once. No team will be eliminated during the group stage. However, the top 2 teams of each advance to the upper bracket of the playoffs, and the bottom 2 teams will be at the lower bracket. The M3 playoffs will be spread out across 9 days. All the upper bracket matches are best of 5. The lower bracket matches will be best of 3 until round 3, where it will then be best of 5. The winners of the upper and lower bracket finals will meet at the grand finals, battling it out in an epic best of 7 match to identify the new world champions. Be sure to tune in and witness the race to the top.
A little recap at this. Now, Lefel, looking at this, if you're in C2, C3, which group would you like to avoid right now?
Okay, so as of right now, Group A, Group B, generally you want to avoid the Philippine and as well as the Indonesian teams. But Group C and D, they're still a powerhouse that you don't want to mess with. Again, like Gideon said, EVOS SG 2-time champions in their own region. SMG has never won. This is the first time that they have become champions, and now they're going straight to Group D in the M3.
Gideon, you'll be doing C2. From C2, in your opinion, which is the strongest team? We have drawn Seed 1, Seed 2. Gideon, I'm going to ask you the question right now. I asked it to Lefel earlier. Which group, in your opinion, needs to be avoided if you're in Seed 3?
Honestly, right now, if you're in Seed 3, I would definitely want to avoid Group B. It's got some of the strongest teams already listed up there. I think everybody else has a pretty good distribution overall, but just, I feel like it's the year of Onic. They're popping off. They're going to have to go against each other at some point. But for the other 2 teams, we'll have to see.
Looking at it right now, it is probably going to be Group B, isn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely. Again, we have Onic champions from Indonesia, Onic Philippines runner-up from the Philippines, Poda the runner-up from Malaysia, and right now VK coming in from Brazil. As of right now, Group B is probably the most competitive just because they have a lot of, as I said, they have a lot of resume. They have a lot of achievements under their name.
And Gideon, how about the most exciting group? I'm going to say you're going to go for Group C simply because when we were doing the interviews, you mentioned a lot of these teams are very unpredictable. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. I would say that Group C, not only are they unpredictable, they're some of the most aggressive we have, especially CU Sunan as well as Navi. Both of these teams really like to go hard or just go home. Luckily in this group stage, nobody's going to go home just yet. It's really competing for the upper brackets.
So that is the group draw. The schedule is what we're going to show you next. Of course, day 1, we have got some great matches taking place. So this is Group A, day 1. Of course, there's 6 games on there. Lefel, which one will you definitely be watching? Well, you're going to watch them all, but which one will you make sure you don't miss?
Well, again, let's start with the very first one of the day. A very good matchup where we can see Blacklist International going up against Red Canids, where, again, Red Canids, they have a lot of potential. I do want to see them do very well in M3. But as of right now, Blacklist International is a very big wall for them hurdle.
Gideon, for people who are watching this for the first time, this might seem like a silly question, but I think a lot of people would be interested to hear your opinion. So, Blacklist International, they have got a gap in between all their games, but for instance, BDL, they're playing a match after each other. Is that an advantage or a disadvantage in your opinion?
Well, look, a lot of teams have different play styles, you know, not one simple formula works for everybody. Everybody has different needs, and the same goes for these teams. Blacklist International, they could be a team that works off of a lot of momentum, you know, give us more and more games, put them all in one shot, and we'll get better progressively. Or sometimes they need to, you know, take a break, slow down, and then continue to progress. I think, you know, for that specific question, BDL and Malvinas Gaming, I'm both worried for them because we don't know whether they're momentum-based or do they need that break to succeed.
Well, that is day one. Day two, I don't think anyone is going to miss any of these games. Lefel, is it a silly question to ask which game you're going to look forward to the most? It's Onic versus Onic, right?
Well, Onic versus... I have two games that I want to watch, but yes, Onic versus Onic. I'm pretty sure not just me, not just Gideon, but everyone else as well. We want to see how the Filipino brand as well as the Indonesian brand, they're going to play with each other. But another shout out I do want to give is Onic Philippines against Team Toda, where Toda again, they play a very uncharacteristic style because sometimes their draft is a little bit all over the place. I want to see how they go up against Onic Philippines.
Gideon, which game do you think will be over the quickest? So many strong teams in this. If you had to predict one game that would be over the fastest, which one would you go for?
Honestly, I think most people would say like, oh, you know, it's going to be Onic versus VK. No, I think the Onic versus Onic game will actually be the fastest.
Oh,
because I feel that once a team gets even the slightest advantage, it's game over already. It's the first person who makes the mistake.
Whoa. Interesting theory there. We shall see. That is day two. Some absolutely fantastic matches on. Day three. Still got some fantastic ones. This is the unpredictable group we mentioned earlier. So many interesting matches. Lefel, which one do you think is the highlight for that group?
Okay, so a lot of people are interested in EVOS games, but I want to see the very last game over there. See you soon going up against BTK, where both of these teams, they like to play aggressive. Again, BTK looks so strong in NA, and See You Soon has been getting a lot of games from MPL teams. So I think BTK and See You Soon, that's the last match of the day. That is the match that I want to see.
So Gideon, a lot of people might say this looks like the easiest group so far. Would you agree or disagree with that statement?
Honestly, unless you are an EVOS SG fan, I would totally agree that, you know, EVOS SG has the highest chance of getting into the upper brackets without too much, unless they really drop the ball. I'm so excited because this is one of those situations where it's whether you want Ice versus Fire in the EVOS versus SYS matchup or the Fire versus Fire matchup, which is SYS up against Na'Vi.
And very quickly, both of you, which game you're looking forward to the most from this group?
See You Soon versus Na'Vi.
Again, See You Soon, BTK.
Okay, well, some fantastic matches there. Day four, the final one. This is Group D. And to be honest with you, every single day, there's at least one game that's going to be fantastic. SMG versus RRQ right there. Which match do you think has the biggest chance of any team causing an upset?
Okay, so personally for me, I do believe that SMG going up against RSG, the third match of the day, there is a possible upset because again, SMG are the champions. RSG, they're not the champions of their own region, but again, I feel like RSG could actually take the game off of SMG because even they said during their interview where they're most afraid of them